Hello, this is TSAT. This is going to be a different video from what you usually see on this channel, and also if you know my other channel, be different from that. This is going to be from my clan of a group of people called TSAT. I don't know if you've seen them. If you do, you can always show them this if you want. This is going to be the background of the entire TSAT, or TSAT if you really want to call it in one word. Let's begin. So this is when he was a youngster, the beginning person of the whole thing. He was a farmer. He had a family. Well, he didn't have a family. He was in a family. So he had his mum, his dad, his sister, as well as himself, as well as a pet dog. The pet dog dies early, anyway, because it was an old dog. Anyway, it was probably close to it anyway. So, right, going to normal day. This is where it all goes to change a plot. You see, then instead of a normal day for the farmer, these guys come up, and this is a bunch of gang who's well known. They're called El Diablo, or as some people call them, the Devil, because pretty much you had to be willing to give yourself to the devil if you're gonna go and do a deal with El Diablo. So these guys came up. I kinda knew about them being the guys from El Diablo, but unfortunately it wasn't good tidings. He came up. He chucked all the stuff that we gathered over there, all on the floor. Him and his guys came storming in their Hellcats. Well, one Hellcat full of men with high caliber guns. So they came in. Then my dad didn't have a clue why they came over. They said to him, "You have run out of your day today. Your debts will have to be paid or either be spilled in blood. You have got one day to do this." And he just told them straight, "We can't pay it. We can barely afford the rent." Then said, "You better get that money or we'll be coming back to end the suffering." So then they were worried. My dad was especially worried for the whole family, because there was me, well, not me, but the person who has known, who may be me, maybe not. You have to find out. And it was one of these things that he was worried for the kid, who's the only one that I would say, well, as much as known, the only one who survived. Because we're going through, you see. It's he was thinking, I can defend and all that. He wanted them to not hurt the family, as much as a lot of people would. This was kind of mid-teens. So, and a day went past. Mother, what she did, she got the two kids and hid. But the male, well, the brother, let's say, decided to hide on his own accord, you see. So he found a place. The mother didn't know. He was worried because he didn't want them to get caught. But the sister, as much as I knew, didn't know where they were. So the mother was smart. She decided to hide. She was going to hide them both. So as much as I know, the sister could be alive or dead. So anyway, I was in a place where I could see, but also hear. They came bursting in, not in the Hellcat this time. They came in with a what's it called now? Let's see, the big truck. I'm sure you're all aware of it if you know. in Armour 3, of course, in Alta's life. This was all hosted, you see. So it went from that, and it was devastating. The game bursting through, knocking every animal down that we ever knew. Since this by the time now the dog has died, because they died. This was like a day before. On the day when they had the dog, and that was it. He'd fortunately died. So all these people was screaming. We heard the shouts from a mile because they knew something was going on. My dad tried defending the family, well, the wife, since the wife had had the kids. Fortunately, what happened in front of this poor brother's eyes, the young brother, was that the mother got raped and then killed, and you see the father got to watch it and died after. He couldn't. It was like the mortifying amount of death that it could possibly be. They tortured him, trying to get the information out of where the kids were. But as much as he knew, he didn't know, because they knew that he would try. They'll try and get it out of him if they knew the kids were gone. So, what happened after? This was a bit further on. He's aged a bit. So the young brother, he gone and decided to get a day job as a police officer out of the police force. There was a bunch of guys, all newbies. He was kind of a noob himself. Started playing a bit. Got to know a couple of people. Got to know also a lot of the housekeepers and all the people. Everyone knew him. But people didn't know him as his true name, just in case El Diablo came back. You see. So then, he called himself the Slayer, or JJ Slayer, ain't he? However you want to call him. So now, you probably know, he's me. So, you see, he went through all this depth, did loads of overtime and stuff, played on days and days of patrolling, knew a lot of people, got friends with loads of people, got friends with loads of the drug lords. He got well known. If there was a problem, he could just get a call from one of the guys, they'll come down, help, no problem. So you see, after a couple of days, he left Altus for a bit, because he thought it was kind of being a burden, as he's been staying there for so long. And that is where it hit even worse. Went to Cherno and a bunch of other places. I can't really remember. Cherno, Electro, all the way through the towns, all the way up. And then it burned to him. He's missing home. So after a couple of days passed, living on holiday type of business, and then what he came back to Altus. Is he noticed there's barely anyone in the police force anymore, and there's a lot of news. And he finds these bunch of guys who are just getting the head, the chief of police, I should say, decided to be a bit of a brute. Let's just say that. I didn't stick around him, and then I was like, okay, he's being a bit of a douche. I shall assist. So I told the chief of police, with my own guts, to stand down. I'll take him. So I took these 5 guys. I was quite a high ranking officer back then. I was a patrol officer. I had a hunter, an SUV. I bought a bunch of. I had 2 hunters. So I thought, you know what, we'll go on high drug patrols. So we went around. Me and the crew, about 7 of us, and in the, of course, the hunters. These were the hunters with the guns on. That was for the SWAT. So, what should I say now? We've got these new recruits, and me, who's the only patrol officer with the only lethal firearm, as much as close as lethal goes, because all they had was pea shooters, and I was devastated that they had pea shooters. So then we patrol. I thought it's a bit quiet. Why is it so quiet? I've not heard any drugs. I haven't seen any drugs. I haven't seen any activity. So we decided to go back to base. We had a bit of a chill, a bit of snacks of donuts, coffee, and healthy stuff as well, like apples, peaches, and had a quite nice, a nice talk with each other. Just a nice local meal, really. So then, what happened was we got a call. No one else were able to respond because they were all doing their own business. The one was between comms, because we were just pretty much either the head of cop was either arguing at us for something that we didn't do, and something that he did, and then blaming it on us. So, and there was a call. There was a stranded person over near a rebel checkpoint, or an outpost, if you really want to call it that. And you see, so I thought, right, get a gunboat. And I thought, also, right, we're near a rebel base. High chances of a gunfight. So we ended up I bought them little medium-ish arms, and I loaded them up. Even though there wasn't a patrol officer, but I trusted them. I valued their life more than others. And so we went in the gunboat. We drove it all the way over. I managed to land the boat. Was kind of a bad thing, 'cause everyone knows a bad thing to do with a boat is to land it. So what then fiercely happened? We asked when some of our guys were like, "Okay, we actually got a response from him." And well, you see, it ended up with he saw the guns. He thought, "Hey, you shouldn't have those guns. They're recruits." And I said, "Yeah, it was me. I was." He threatened to demote me. I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna demote one of the highest and most respectful cop in the cop force." I was valuing their life compared to mine. But he said, "Oh, fine, I'll give you a warning." Like, yeah, you know it as much as me that people respect me on around here these parts, my own personal home. And we're like, okay. And then we found these bunch of rebels. They were nice. It wasn't like bad. It wasn't good. And we said to him, right, we've got this a bunch of cop dudes, right? If you go and attack them, because to be fair, we were fed up with him enough. And we thought, you know, we're having a change here. And so we got them to go kill them. Or, well, pretend they're attacking Altus, the main thing. So they're like, okay, how long do you pay us? I'm like, yeah, I'll pay you for the gear. So, because I was a rich man by then, because I worked for a lot of years. So, they attacked, and then we killed them. They're like, okay, GG, why don't you give that person a promotion? And they did, eventually. He thought, yeah, you did well for once. So we kind of went around nicely. We all got promotions. And then I got, pretty much all I got was abuse from him. For once I didn't. I got a decent amount of respect. Because I was keeping the streets safe. No one messed around in the main city. Out of the city, meh, a couple of rough housings. But still, when they saw us, they either backed off or put their hands up. They wouldn't mess around, or either lower the gun. They may even be respectful to even lower the gun and actually talk this out, see what the issue was. So you see, that right. So after all this, we ended up going around And we thought, right, we'll talk. We'll just the group started getting bigger and bigger because I was taking more noobs because no one else would, and they ended up being decent. They were nice people, nice chunk of people. We went and sit. We were all being a normal civilian for a change. Started to know me better, and then what pretty much happened. We thought we're a good team. We communicate well. We don't just we don't like shout over each other or anything. So we thought, why don't we make a clan? Or a little, well, not a clan, let's say a squad. It was technically a clan, but a squad at the same time. And I said, well, I could probably see if I can do that. And he goes, okay. How about the Alpha team? And they were like, yeah, the Alpha team sounds good. Good. So then we thought, for cops, Alpha team. And then, as we were playing Civ, we thought, why don't I say the Slayers for Civ? And we thought, yeah, it's alright, but still I like Alpha team. Yeah, we'll keep that in. So then we thought, hang on a minute, what about TSAT? What's TSAT? What stands for the Slayers, the Alpha team, or however you want to put it. TAST or TSAT. One or the other. It doesn't really mind me. So we came around here, and then unfortunately we had a bunch of issues, because after we had a person who wasn't very well. They had issues outside of Altus, so they thought that they're gonna have to depart, and fortunately we didn't keep contact. So then we lost a couple of members, but we also gained a couple of members at the same time. So then we thought, you know what? Let's make it official. We're now TSAT. Let's go defeat some crime. And we've pretty much been. Then we turned from pretty much a cop force to mercenary. Because people on the cop, there's loads of them. There's like about a couple a year since the last time I checked the cops. So now there's tons, loads of recruits. People didn't know how to do a cop. So we were like, we'll go Civ and just wreck them anyway, if need be, if they start stepping out of line. So we came the mercenary group. So the people, cops who knew us, we talked. We're like, hey, yeah, if you need us, give us a call. We'll come down and help. So they did. They called us for a mission. They're like, yeah, we got this this other clan. It was I think it was like Camo or something. It was really quite a small guy. They tried picking us. They declared war on us before this. So we're like, yeah, they're at war with us. We'll come down immediately. So we stopped. We're doing drugs. You see, we thought we'll get a bit more money. We'll do some drugs so we can profit in on most of things. So we gunned up decent amount of guns and stuff. I had a cheap arms dealer that allowed us to get cheap guns. So from back in my old day, where I used to sneak around to him to go do shooting and stuff that I shouldn't have done, but still did. And it ended up like going, okay, we'll give you this money if you give us the guns, pretty much. And he was like, yeah, sure, since you're an old friend of mine. And no one questioned how I knew him. I just did. And we came down. We had very nice guns. I had a Katiba. A lot of my other dudes had EBRs or Katiba. One dude had a TCG, a TSG. Can't say the name. TG. The really rubbishish gun. One lower than a. It's like the one lower from a Katiba, but it's not as good. So we ended up going through. We killed a bunch of them. They got angry as they're like, oh, what are you rebels doing here? You shouldn't be helping the cops. And then we're like, yeah. Let's say this. We're mercenaries, dude. You should check our memo. It's not as easy as you think, you see. We've got our own things to deal with. Especially since you also declared war. Especially since this one dude said the combat, he he ran off and then came back. So he came back into town thinking that and tried backstabbing us out of nowhere. So then we thought, right, we're not taking this. We're not taking this bull. And then it was a bad enough shot as it is. He needed the training. And then we thought, okay. So after all that, we spoke to the cops. Cops healed me and stuff. We got thanks, a bit of pay, and then we walked out. So we won't touch you. So we were just doing our normal business, and we were getting calls for either lifts and stuff. People we were at war if we didn't accept things from them. And I'll say this: it takes guts to try and get peace from people, especially mercenaries who try to declare war on. It takes a lot of guts to accept defeat than it does to continue the fight. So then we were like, okay. So we finally got peace, just a peace, not an alliance. We had alliance with a couple of people. We had like 5 alliances with different clans on there. We knew a lot. We were the people. If you needed information about anything, you would be able to get it for a certain price. And so we went around there. We did a couple of business. A couple of years later, we thought, you know what, we've pretty much cleaned up this town. It's all good. And it ended up us going to a place as much as called I think it's Taviana or something like that. But it's a really old place. We came around with there was supposed to be some of our group there, our local militia from that area. So because we had finally got like global, we had contacts from every round the places, coming from like down low and down high, south, west. We had people quite knowing, and then we ended up like thinking, okay. Let's see now. If you want to go down to there, yeah. Let's go down and see if we can clean up next show. We haven't heard from them for a long time. We went down there. We looked. We thought, where's our militia dudes? There's no one here. They were gone. So we thought we'd investigate. And pretty much from now on, we've been a mercenary group, a big, nice community who loves to communicate. And yeah, it's one of the things. We're not afraid to get dirty, but we are afraid to fail. So we're mercenaries, but we're mercenaries if you got a decent thing, a decent memo. We're not one of those mercenaries that just kill for the sake of killing. So yes, that is the end of the background. If you want to join the clan, there'll be a link in the description. And also, if you also want to check out one of the other links, the link will be to the clan. There's also a link there. It's a server. It's a nice server. It's not for Arma 3. It's not for Arma 2. It's a Garry's Mod server. If you would like to go down there and donate to the server, they've got a special offer. You can also go check it out if you've got Garry's Mod. And it's safe to say it's a good server. I've not very much played on it, but I've looked and spoke to a lot of the community. They're a nice community. If you just check it out, consider maybe donating. I'll be very grateful if there is a thing in that thing saying who's giving this push to donate. Just put my name, Jason. Also, you can put Fasan9. They will both know us both. They'll be happy. And yeah. And thanks for listening to this background. I hope it's not made you any displeased. If you want to contact me, there'll be an email address on the TSAT website, or well, the clan website. Contact me on there. Maybe give you I can use Skype, TS, or anything. To the point of certain things, you can ask me anyway. I'll give you probably a couple of questions if you want to join, just to see why. And yeah, I hope to see you in the TSAT group. We're hoping to get a big community going, where we can pretty much be a good group and play well. If you got any suggestions of games, and yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe if you want to see a bunch of other things that have been coming up lately, as much as probably DayZ Epoch, as well as Overpoch, a bit of Battlefield 3, because I've just recently got it down on my computer since I've got specs for it. Also a couple of Minecraft, and some probably other games that I can never remember. And there will be links to other people's channels that I may mention. And hope you enjoy. Peace.